If you have Leo rising, this transit or combination of transits began in your fourth house. You'll be reconsidering things in your fifth house and moving forward in your sixth house. So, over October 20th and October 21st, you are experiencing the Mars and Mercury conjunction, as well as the Mercury entering its shadow period of the retrograde in your fourth house. Your fourth house is all about your family, it's your physical home, can be about your parents, it can be about roommates. So if you live in a home with, three or four of your closest friends, that could be the family that we're discussing. But it's likely over the 20th and the 21st, there was an impulse to get into some type of communication, argument, conversation, and maybe that particular conversation didn't go well, or there was like a purging happening through that conversation. But whatever began on the 20th or the 21st, like it's not over. Seeing as this can have to do with like literally your physical home, like your real estate, this could have to do with like you saw a place that you wanted to move to over the 20th or the 21st, but you're not there yet. Like maybe there's still some negotiating, or maybe you chose like the roommate and the place fell through and now you're finding a new place. So this is just about like whatever started on the 20th, you just want to kind of take a breath and look back and just kind of connect the dots between like that time and like what's going on right now. On November 9th, Mercury will station retrograde in Sagittarius in your fifth house. Your fifth house is all about like your children, if you have children, if that applies, or this can be about like a romance that's just getting started, what romance means for you, like what does being romantic look like for you. This can also be about creative projects. This can be about affairs. Doesn't necessarily mean that somebody is cheating. It can just mean like you're starting up an affair. Both of you are single, but you're just kind of having a fling. This can also just be about like hobbies, like what you enjoy doing. What do you love to do? Do you love to ski or snowboard? Do you love to paint? Maybe you have disconnected from hobbies and you're starting to notice that. Whatever it is, like it started in your fourth house. So remember, started in your home. And now it's time to review and check some things before we move forward. There could be new information that you're getting through those fifth house topics, or it could be about like it comes through like maybe one of your kids that says like you got to stop whatever it is you're doing, I need you over here. And so you end up doing something with your kids, like helping them out, or one of your children is engaged in some kind of creative thing at school, and so you have to set aside whatever was started on the 20th so you can give some of your time and energy to your kids. But something is like slowing you down in the fifth house, saying wait, we got to stop, like now's not the right time. Be mindful of like, the tendency to want to like bulldoze it and just not have to deal with whatever the thing is, like get it done. You want to try to avoid that because during a Mercury retrograde, like those things that we bulldoze can really manifest into bigger problems later. So just take a breath, take a step back, allow yourself to just accept the reality the way that it is and make whatever shifts, changes in direction that you need to take. It's likely for you that it's going to be about something that you want to do, like it's something that's fun for you. So if you're feeling like, oh, but I got this thing that's important, like maybe has to do with real estate, selling a house, buying a house, moving, signing a lease. If something is pulling you from the fifth house, like your kids, your hobbies, your whatever, that might look like an irresponsible thing to do, like to go engage in like a roller skating, skiing, whatever you do for fun when you have a serious thing going on, but it's kind of like something fun is showing up to like redirect you on purpose. Like there's something you need to think about, you're not noticing it. So let's have a weekend and go to the beach and whatever you like to do, and then think about it. And when you come back, it is going to look different, or there's some piece of information that will show up when you're doing that fun thing or engaging with those fun people. When you come back from that, the other thing is going to look different and something's going to go smoother than it would have had you bulldozed. On November 12th, Mercury will conjoin Mars in Sagittarius while it's retrograde. So it basically backs up into Mars. Sagittarius is in your fifth house. Remember, the fifth house is all about romance and our children and our creative projects and the things we love to do. So a good use of this transit is it encourages like bold action. Like in the fifth house, it's like I'm coloring outside of the lines. So if there's like a creative project that you felt like you were being too safe with, this will definitely help you to explore new ideas. It will inspire you to really go outside of the box. But the thing we want to watch out for with this transit, obviously, is, like that thing when we kind of just go impulsively with an idea. We hadn't thought it all the way through, and we just kind of end up wrecking what we were working on. And where this could possibly affect things like new love affairs, new romances, we might jump in with both feet without thinking things through. But for whatever reason, we're bulldozing past some boundaries that we have, and it might not be the best thing right now. At the same time, if there's something where you've been struggling to be more brave where romance is concerned, this can help with that. So you just want to balance it between like that healthy bravery versus, closing your eyes and plowing through, and when you know better, when you know that something else might have been a better idea for you. On November 29th, Mercury stations direct in your fourth house. So we want to really be looking at what has happened between October 20th to November 29th involving creative projects, our children, and the issues of our fourth house, our home, real estate, moving, our parents, our roommates, whoever we live in our house with, our housing in general. Those are things that we have seen something showing up, kind of saying, wait, it's time to look at something that's been in progress, some kind of plan. And there's something in that that needs to be reworked, reassessed, reviewed. Remember, the keywords are in a retrograde are that RE. So it's go back, redo something. So as Mercury stations direct, like literally in your house, in your home, it's kind of saying, take a break, stay home tonight, review what's happened. Are there adjustments that you want to make? Because Mercury has station direct, it's almost like it stops before it moves forward. That's how it feels to us. It's not actually, obviously, going through the sky, stopping in its orbit, rewinding. You didn't miss a day in elementary school when we were going over that. That's not a thing. That doesn't happen. However, it looks like that from here. And so the message to us, what it's indicating, what it's trying to tell us is stop, slow down, look at something differently, take another look. Like all our ducks are in a row. We're good. We're ready to go. We're ready to move forward. On December 16th, Mercury will leave its shadow in Sagittarius. So remember, started a retrograde period in Sagittarius, then it retrograded back to Scorpio, then it moved forward on November 29th. Now on December 16th, it is past that all of those degrees where it's been, and it's actually moving forward into new territory. So as it started to move direct, like I said before, we're picking up momentum, but we're not at full speed, if that makes sense. Like sometimes when something's been stalled and we're like, we can finally go, we want to like bust out of the gate and get things going, almost make up for lost time. Just know that that's not what this is. So if you don't feel like you're making up for lost time, it's okay. You're not supposed to be. It's still a time to take things slow, take in any new information, make adjustments if needed. It's not as intense of a review phase as the actual retrograde, but there is still room for it. So you are moving forward, but it's a little slow, might be a little annoying. And again, Mercury is still kind of showing its dark side in Sagittarius. So it's like my thoughts might be, I know what's best. My thoughts might be, everything's going to be fine once this gets started. Why doesn't everything get out of my way? Those are all like kind of the toxic sides of positivity, the toxic sides of, seeing the big picture and, being ready to go. Like sometimes that's not the best thing. It sounds like the best thing, but it's not. And we're just getting an opportunity to reassess and to be sure before we move forward. Just take some time to review everything. I know things are going more slowly during this time than you want them to be. Remind yourself that that's okay. Also, remind yourself it's okay to be frustrated with that. Our feelings are going to happen no matter how much we argue with them. So, yep, I'm frustrated. That's okay. I can be frustrated. This is going to move forward. This is going to get started. And I'm okay with, or I can practice being okay if I don't feel it. I can practice right now being okay with the possibility that there's an adjustment that needs to be made to my plan. And if not, that's all right. We just keep going forward. On January 18th, Mercury will conjoin Mars in Capricorn. That will mark the end of this particular retrograde Mars conjunction period. So remember, we reviewed in Scorpio, we were inspired in Sagittarius, probably made quite a few mistakes or gathered some new information, realized that some of our planning was incorrect. And then in Capricorn, we are manifesting. For you, Capricorn is in the sixth house, and that is the house of work. So you are manifesting where you work. That doesn't necessarily mean at your job. This house is more about like the work, the labor that I do in my life. So, for instance, if I have a job that I love, like maybe I love counseling or teaching, I love the job, but the work part is like the paperwork involved or the submitting to insurance companies or so it can happen at your job, but it's not happening in the necessarily in the place where it like you enjoy your job. It's more that background, that kind of like the stuff you have to do, the tasks. This can also be about physical health and like daily routine type chores. So let's say you don't have like a standard career, you work a job, but it's not in your career right now. Whatever your day to day is to take care of yourself, whether that's the job you do to pay the bills or the part you play in a group, like in your family, to provide whatever it is you provide. Maybe you're the person who takes care of the house, or you're the person who takes care of the children, or you are the person who does all the cooking. But this is someplace where, like, the labor piece is where you're manifesting all that has been reviewed and inspired over the last few months. So again, the good news here is that Mars is in its favorite sign. It's exalted. It loves to be here. The combination of Capricorn and Mars is basically like Mars wants to move forward and Capricorn really wants to build and succeed and to excel and to teach and to learn. So you're thinking along those lines, like, what am I creating out of all of this that has happened? What am I passing on? What am I taking in? What does the communication there look like? And taking advantage of this added energy, this kind of added boost of excitement around whatever this is looking like for you. So in your sixth house, you're looking for something around your health, something around your work, the labor that you do every day, wherever that is, or something more involved with like your daily routine, what you do to get by, what you do to put the food on the table, what you do to keep everything in your home in working order.